If you're running a medical practice, dental clinic, vet clinic, or urgent care hospital, you're probably losing $150,000 a year without realizing it. Let me explain. 42% of your incoming calls go unanswered. And when patients can't reach you, they're not getting the care that they need because 85% of them never call back. Most practice owners try to fix this by hiring more front desk staff or paying for expensive phone answering services. But these solutions actually make the problem worse. On the other side, we have Tampa General Hospital, who took a completely different approach. They deployed the solutions to handle 500,000 calls on autopilot, increase appointments by 21%, and their chief digital officer literally said,
of savings of almost $1 million immediately realized.
It saved them almost $1 million immediately. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the solution is, why it works better than everything else, and how you can get one built for your practice in 30 days. And if you're new to this channel and don't know who I am, my name is Edwin Chen. I'm an Oxford postgraduate and a retail certified partner. And over the past year, I've been running my own AI agency, Retell AI, where we partner with almost 50 different businesses to eliminate their operational bottlenecks through our chat, voice, and automation workflow solutions, so they can focus working on the business and not in the business. And if you're a business owner and you would like to work with me and my team, you can use the link in the description to book a free discovery call with us. Let me show you what's actually happening in your practice right now. A study of 7,000 calls across 22 medical practices found that 42% of incoming calls during business hours went unanswered, and 85% of patients who don't reach you on the first call will never call back. They're not leaving voicemails, they're just calling your competitors instead. And it gets worse. 27% of all patient calls happen outside of standard business hours. Right now, most of those are going to voicemail, and 85% of patients will hang up without leaving a message. At the same time, your front desk staff is drowning. The average hold time in healthcare is over 4 minutes. Here's what patients are actually doing. 34% of them hang up after 2 minutes of wait time, and 67% of them abandon after 5 minutes of wait time. And your staff, medical receptionist turnover is 30 to 40% each year. The average receptionist stays about 1 year before burning out. It costs you around $19,000 to $29,000 to replace each one. So you're stuck in this constant cycle of call overwhelming your staff, and the staff just burns out and just quit their job. You hire someone new and train them from the ground up again, they get overwhelmed again, and the cycle repeats for itself. And this whole time, you're just bleeding $150,000 a year in lost revenue from those missed calls alone. Now, most practice owners try to solve this with one of three things. The first solution is to hire more receptionists. Simple, easy, to the point. But a medical receptionist costs around $50,000 a year, still handles one call at a time, and still limited to working 40 hours a week. So some other practices look to pay for a phone answering service, and then it costs them $1,500 a month. You can't book the appointments, they can't access your system, they just take messages. And finally, you have some practices try to use these IVR phone trees. You know these: press 1 for appointments, press 2 to talk to customer support, press 3 to talk to cardiology department. It might sound simple at first, but you know 50% of Americans actually said they've stopped doing businesses with companies because of these. First call resolution, only 20%. None of these actually solve the real problem. But here's a fourth option that could potentially change everything. So what is this fourth option? Well, Tampa General Hospital figured it out. In September 2025, they deployed an AI phone agent called Amy. She handled nearly 500,000 calls since then, and I think the results speak for themselves. There's a 21% increase in appointments scheduled, 56% reduction in call abandonment from 34% down to 14.9%, the lowest in hospital history, and a 58% reduction in average wait times from 6 minutes down to 2 minutes. And they're not the only ones. Intermountain Health runs 33 hospitals and 383 clinics. In order to deploy this solution, there's an 85% drop in call abandonment and 79% improvement in speed to answer. So what is this technology? It's an AI phone agent. It can answer your phone 24/7, book appointments directly into your calendar system, verifies insurance, routing calls to the right departments, and speaks 31 different languages. And it responds all of customers' inquiries in under 800 milliseconds. So fast that most callers won't even realize they're talking to an AI. This is a solution that actually solves the phone crisis in healthcare. Now into the solution itself. So I'm going to be talking to the voice AI agent, so you have a rough idea of what the solution sounds like in real life.
Thank you for calling Oakwood Family Medical Clinic. I'm Aria, the clinic's AI phone assistant. Are you calling for yourself today or on behalf of someone else?
I'm calling for myself today.
Of course. Before I pull up any information, I just need to do a quick identity check. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. To start, can I get your first and last name, please?
Yeah, Sarah Chen.
Thank you, Sarah. And could you please tell me your date of birth?
Yeah, so it's 4th of July, 1990.
Got it, thanks. And finally, either the last 4 digits of your health card or the postal code we have on file, whichever you have handy.
Yeah, so the last 4 digits of my health card is 3392.
Thank you, Sarah. I've verified your information. How can I help you today? Are you looking to book an appointment? Or maybe you need a prescription refill?
No, I'm just looking for an appointment, yeah.
I can certainly help you with that, Sarah. Are you looking to see a specific doctor, or would you like the first available appointment?
I'm just looking for my GP, really.
Of course. Let me check the schedule for your family doctor. When would you like to come in? Is there a particular day or time that works best for you?
How about next Tuesday?
Let me check the schedule for next Tuesday. I'm sorry, Sarah. It looks like there aren't any openings for next Tuesday. Would you like me to check for later that week? Or maybe the following Monday?
Actually, that's fine. It's about the prescription anyway, so I might just go back to get the prescription.
I understand, Sarah. Since you're looking for a prescription refill, I can certainly help get that request to your doctor. Just so you know, for most medications, we can send the request over, but if it's for a controlled substance, like certain pain or anxiety medications, we'll need to have you speak with a member of our staff directly. Could you tell me the name of the medication and the dosage you're looking to refill?
Oh, it's a sleeping pill.
I understand. Since sleeping medications are often classified as controlled substances, I'll need to connect you with a member of our medical team to handle that request safely. One moment while I transfer you to the front desk and they'll be able to assist you with that refill.
Perfect. Now, obviously, I don't have the front desk phone number, so it's not going to transfer, but this is what it's going to sound like in the real life. So let me actually have a breakdown of what's actually happening and what does the solution actually look like on a high level. This is what I like to call a call flow diagram. This is where you can clearly see kind of step by step how the entire call should be structured for your phone AI agent. So we always started off with an orchestrator agent, meaning that it's a silent call router that's being able to route into different steps or into different sub-agents that will handle different specific functionalities. So we started off with the orchestrator, which is going to check for any like terminal triggers. So for example, if there's 911 emergency, wrong number or abusive caller, they're going to end the call and exit immediately. But if it is indeed legit person, it will first start with an opener using the HIPAA safe greeting. So what HIPAA is basically a compliance used in the medical industry that you need to follow these certain guidelines to stay compliant. So within the opener message, it's going to sound something like making sure that it is an AI assistant and you can't impersonate staff, and you do not confirm the patient named on the first message for voicemail safety. So you don't say, hey, is this Edwin, for example, even though it can pull records from the database to know which patient you are. HIPAA compliance basically say that you can't say that in the first opening message. And you need to ask to clarify for the user if you're calling for yourself or on behalf of a patient. This is kind of the opener. Then the next step, once the user confirms they're calling for themselves or a third person, then they go through what we call an identity verification, meaning that you need to definitely identify the person is who they say they are. This is usually done through a ERP that the medical clinics or the practice usually have. Here, I actually set up a database that's trying to mimic the ERP that the clinics have. So you can have the patient ID here, the first name and the last name, the date of birth, the last 4 digits of their health card, the postal code, whether they have insurance, and their preferred doctor, and whether they're a new patient or not. Obviously, it can be more comprehensive depending on your specific ERP system. You will also have different tables inside your ERP that could be flags to look out for. For example, do they have any mental health or substance abuse issues, or are they minor that should be immediately flagged out to the team? They can also be, if they're calling not by their own, but they're actually calling on behalf of someone, you will actually need some sort of context. So you will have the patient ID, you will have the contact name, what are their relationships with the patient, and their phone number, etc. So this is just a few examples of what the ERP system could contain. Once you did the verification, once you've actually identified they're the right person, then it can actually do a consent and safe contact to making sure that they're actually safe to proceed, as I mentioned. So if you're a minor, meaning that you must be verified with their guardians or their parents before they can proceed. And if they have mental health and substance abuse records, then there's a stricter compliance called 42 CFR that makes you only be able to respond in a certain way and nothing else. So that compliance is actually stricter than HIPAA, for example. And once that compliance step is done, then we go back to the orchestrator agent. Remember, the orchestrator is kind of the brain that kind of routes to different steps. Then we go to the call type router, asking the main user, what can I help you with today? Is it about billing, prescription, or is it about about appointment, and then it can route to the appropriate step. So for example, if it's about emergency, then it will route to the emergency route. So if they have a medical emergency like chest pain, can't breathe, bleeding, and conscious immediately, it will basically say, please hang up and call 911 and transfer directly. These are kind of the emergency settings. If the patient is asking for appointment, you can check the calendar inside your backend system to check if there are slots available for GP appointments for that specific patient, for that specific doctor. So here I've used something called cal.com, which is just a simple calendar checking system. So I can show you what I've actually done inside the system is actually using this scheduling software integrated inside Retell AI. In general, it can connect it to your calendar system to book appointments. And once the appointment has been confirmed, then the agent can exit or wrap up appropriately. And of course, if the user is about prescription handling, as you mentioned, they will check for whether you have a controlled substance. If there is, you need to transfer to a human team or a staff immediately to help you handle that. Whereas in the other case, if the prescription is kind of in general, the AI agent can actually log the request and send the request on email request or log it inside the ERP system directly to member staff inside the clinics or the practice. And the key thing is there's always needs to be a way to reach the human team because this is a highly compliant practice. So call transfer is a must in this kind of setup. Now that I've broken down the high level diagram on how you should approach building a system like this, let me walk you through what it actually looks like in Retell. So inside Retell, it looks something like this. We have the opener, so you have the different prompts. So this is to making sure that you're staying compliant with HIPAA. So you say, thanks for calling this medical clinic. My name is Arya. You're making clear that you're an AI phone assistant. Are you calling for yourself today on behalf of someone else? You basically try to identify if the caller is calling for themselves or are they a third party, and try to detect if there's an emergency. If there's an emergency, you should tell the user to hang up and call 911 immediately. And if the caller is themselves or the third party, you then transfer to the ID verification node. Now, there's different ways to verify these IDs. I've done it in a certain ways to basically collect their first and last name, their date of birth, and either the last 4 digits of their health card or their postcode code. Obviously, there will be different ways to do verification. There can be a one-time verification code or other means of verification like passport number, ID number, etc. But for now, what it does is actually pass all this information through a backend system that will verify if they are true. So as an example, I've set something up like this, where the Retell AI will actually send information to this system. It first checks the table to see if the patient actually exists. If they do, they check then if the date of birth is actually correct. If it's incorrect, you will basically have a soft fail. What that means is that you will allow the patient to try one more time. And if the patient goes back and also still provides the wrong information, then it will be classified as a hard fail, meaning that HIPAA compliance requires us to essentially tell the user a very strict message saying we cannot proceed with the request and we have to end the call immediately. As an example, it will look something like this. I'm sorry, I'm able to continue this call. For assistance, please contact us through our patient portal or call us during business hour. So that will be the HIPAA compliance closure if the patient failed the identity verification. And once the patient is correctly identified, it will then be routed to the call type node, which again will try to collect what the user actually wants. Are they needing an urgent care? Are they needing an appointment? Are they wanting help with the appointments? Are they wanting help with prescription? Are they needing help with results? For example, medical results, right? Or billing. So for billing issue, usually that is handled through the billing team. So you will transfer the call to the billing department. And it's about reports, for example, blood tests. Usually the way to do it is to transfer it to a member of the team to help answer this call. But you can just tell the user that the results are received by the doctor and a team member will call you within 1 business day. If you haven't heard back after 1 business day, please call us back, right? And then you will transfer it to a member of staff if they need further help. Now for the prescription, again, if it's controlled substance, aka like sleeping medicine, benzodiazepines or stimulants or alcohol, I don't know what that means. That's basically a controlled substance. If it is indeed a controlled substance, you need to transfer to a member of the team. If they're not, you can simply log the request. For example, what kind of medicine are they requesting, their name, phone number, etc. And this will automatically send to the ERP system and log that request. As for appointments, you need to collect the user what days they want, and they could check your calendar to see if for that specific doctor, that specific time slot, is it available for booking? If it is, tell the user they're available. If it's not, then suggest alternative slots back to the user. So yeah, this is a high-level walkthrough of how the Retell AI workflow can be structured. Of course, this is just a demo, but in real life, it's going to be a little bit more complex than that, and there'll be more departments, more functionalities, and the interaction with the ERP system is honestly a little bit more complicated than just setting up data table inside NAN, for example. But yeah, this is a high-level workflow, so hopefully you understand something. anything. And if you're a business owner or a medical practice or hospital owner who wants to work with me and my team to help set something up like this, you're more than welcome to use the link in the description to comment to book a free discovery call with us. And if you enjoyed this kind of video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.